Very good morning to you all. Hope you're doing all right. You had a nice weekend. It went really quick, and but that's just a weekend for you, so that's a bit interesting. But we'll ignore that. We've got our level, the 3912, so you can see how it had multiple respects off it. It was resistance, then support, and then we sort of fluctuated and did something a bit naughty there, and that was obviously a bit of a ruse. We chopped a lot down here, you can see, and they were quick to sell it, like I was saying last week. And they were quick to sell it again on this move. It did look quite bearish, and then of course we'd pumped, possibly because of the sentiment. So I'll show you the S&P. I note that the indices are green, all green now, which is interesting. Pound USD is a sell, Kiwi USD is a sell. So our current trade of the day is going to be quite volatile, because our trade of the day is pound Kiwi long. All right, so which one's going to prevail out of those two? All right, so we've got to be really careful. So I'm quite glad it's just a hypothetical trade of the day. I can't really guarantee its success at all, because it's probably going to fluctuate a lot. Also, we have to remember the failure rate is abysmal. It's really, really terrible for this time. Nearly coming up to 9 o'clock UK time, and they're really getting paid. So we have to be really careful today. Let's just look at the indices. So there's, the S&P on the daily, so they sold it. And there's that move there. So I was saying, hypothetically, stop loss there, entry here. You're looking like a 10-point stop. Pretty decent risk to reward there. I didn't take it. It's kind of annoying that I probably should have taken it. You can see how it was like quite strongly descending as well. But that's one of those things, isn't it? It's just a missed opportunity that I missed again. There's no sign of a crossover. They're selling it quite heavily, right? So we're not going to get a risky sell situation until we get the crossover. But you can see how they're running in parallel. So they might continue to short it, which would be quite bullish for us. Likewise, I suppose we could have traded this. I don't really like the Dow Jones so much. I prefer the S&P. It's just a little bit easier, I find, the S&P. But there's the buy, around here. You're here-ish, and then stop loss could have been there. Just waiting for a crossover, and then you put your stop just below that wick, and then you probably really, really reduce your size as well, because you're talking 32647. Yeah, it's 40-point stop loss, and it could have potentially, hypothetically, at the time, it could have raided that stop. But we could see the sentiment cross down, so that's a decent setup for a buy. These three candles slightly naughty, and up we come. No sign of a crossover, so it's good for us. If you're long, of course, you might be bearish, but I never ever recommended selling the indices, and you'd probably be wise not to do that, because you can see how quickly they pump and how quickly the retail short as well. So they sold it there. And obviously, where would your stop be? That'd be a wide stop. That wouldn't be so good. Yeah, but that's where your stop could be there, because you're waiting for the crossover. And we're going to potentially carry on pumping, but we have to be careful, because we're getting the crossover 1438, 1429. And so obviously that number's greater than that. So we have had the crossover for a sell, but we've got 11 minutes left of the hour. So they might try and short this spike, but we don't know until they do. But there's one good thing about having the trading station, is that you can see things unfold in real time as well. You can see how traps are placed and where to put your stops and things. And there's your buy and sell. There's your buy. You had an hour prep, and then the next hour we had a big pump. So stop loss there. Potentially. Gold, risky sell. We've got that number's higher than this one. So, the SSI is above the moving average. So that's therefore a risky sell. But like I say, we've got 10 minutes left of the hour. So a lot of things can happen in 10 minutes. They might sell it. They might short this. You don't know until they've done it. So you try and wait for the hour. And then once the new hour's created, then you've got like a more conviction about the trade. Euro USD, that's interesting, they're selling it. So we had the buy, quite naughty little behaviour here. 106.02, I guess it was the round number. We had a breach of the run number, fell fairly heavy, and they've sold it. Well, we went sideways, and then they've started to sell it again. So that's that. So if they continue to hold on to their bias, and will come up, and it looks like it was a round number trap mechanic here, doesn't it? Round about there. Dollar yen and sideways. So I can't really comment on dollar yen. So we've got to be careful the trade of the day, and we have to be careful with FX generally speaking, because they're really getting paid on their bets, which is essentially what they're doing. They're just gambling, and probably with terrible risk management as well, knowing the retail guys, but they're currently getting paid on their risky bets. So we've got to be careful, and our trade of the day is just hypothetical only. Okay, and that's it. So I'll wrap up now, and I hope you had a good weekend, like I say, and I'll do the Patreon video now. So trade safely. I'll speak to you soon.